Welcome back, guys. I want to talk to you now about the hook. And when I say the hook, it is going to be the central thesis that all your marketing revolves around. So when you think hook, it has to correspond with your entire brand. Just to give you an example of what I mean, for my brand, the hook is, for my ebook at least, how a college dropout generates over $100,000 a month from his laptop. And people that resonate with that, it captures your attention. But people that resonate with that, they tend to start following my brand, start following me, and kind of become a little bit more involved with it. So you want your hook to be able to capture attention and create relatability really quickly. And I wanted to share just ways to do that very easily. Just really quick, your hook has to be simple. So you have to keep your hooks as simple as possible. You have to make it as easy to understand as possible. One of my mentors always told me, you want it so that your grandparents can understand it. So you want to be able to have a hook that your grandparents can understand. If you told your grandma what your business was, through your hook, or what your brand was through your hook, she should be able to understand it. And what a lot of people do wrong is they make something way too complicated. And I've noticed that when people pitch me businesses or pitch me ideas, they will have an idea that is too complicated to understand. And when it is complicated, complication is the enemy of action. Complexity is the enemy of action. So whenever something is super complicated, people tend to act on it less. When the brand is super complicated, they're not going to be like, I don't know what that is. I don't really want to learn what that is. I'm not going to learn what it is. And because of that, a lot of businesses fail. So you want to have an easy hook, something easy to understand, and a way to translate your business in an easy way. That being said, I want to share 5 tips or ways to create a compelling hook or a compelling central thesis. And the first one is using numbers. So in the same way that I said how a college dropout generates $100,000 a month, you could say something like how to fix your house in 7 steps or less. When you have numbers, it intrigues people because they think it adds simplicity to the concept, right? You can also say 5 ways to have better email marketing, 5 ways to improve your love life, 5 ways to do this, 5 ways to do that. And when you do that, people look at it and they break it down and they make it simple. So using numbers is going to be very powerful in your hook, just because it adds some dimension to it. One of my mentors, Ty Lopez, the reason he blew up off of his very first program, the 67 steps. And same thing he did, he named it after a number. So people look at it and they're like, 67 is a higher number, but 67 steps to a good life. And by the way, he was right because it changed my life. It adds simplicity, adds steps, it adds something people can comprehend. And that's very important. Outside of that, you can also use numbers to add authority. So what I do is I kind of say how much I make every month, and it adds authority, right? And you don't want to lie about authority. You don't want to say something that's not true because that's false advertising. You can get in a lot of trouble for that. But when you add numbers that are true and they're facts, it can definitely help your central thesis or your hook. Number 2 is using curiosity bias. You want to intrigue people. So another hook that I've used before is how I changed my life or how I created my dream life, right? And there's a lot of other people that kind of do that. How this person changed their life through the internet, how this person changed their love life. So by using curiosity as a tool, you're definitely more likely to intrigue someone. So you want to use that curiosity to build intrigue and draw people into your business, click on your advertisement, whatever the case may be. Number 3 is pain and punishment bias. And when I say this, I'm not talking about scaring people, because that's almost like tactical advertising where you're just scaring people. They're not buying your product, they're buying it because they're scared, and there's no longevity in that. I'm referring to kind of show reaching into the problems that some people might have. Good example. Let's say someone wants a good love life. A tagline having trouble finding that special someone works really well for dating sites because I'm sure everyone has some sort of issue like that. Or the people, their demographic, their audience is going to have issues with finding that special someone. So when they say that, it relates to them, and it's kind of like pain. It's pain in them, it's punishment also. But it's not inciting fear, it's just asking an honest question. Because a lot of people have that problem. So when I say pain and punishment bias, I just mean stating the problem that your business or your product or your service will solve. And when you do that, people will see it and they'll look for the solution. So you want to introduce the problem and then introduce the solution. Because the problem does exist, you're just bringing it to light, and then you go and introduce the solution, everything works better. Also, when you do this, you'll also see how many other people deal with that situation. So you're able to even gauge your business from that. If it's not responsive, it's because not enough people have that problem. If it's very responsive, then a lot of people are dealing with that. So always think of the problem and state it. You're not going to ignore the problem, but you're also not going to incite fear, because that's wrong. That's not good advertising. But you do want to state the problem because you have the solution to it. Number 4 is offering secrets, right? Because everyone wants a secret. That's a way to build intrigue as well. When you have someone, they're like, hey, I need to tell you a secret, right? You get interested. You're like, ooh, what is it? And then when they say, oh, I can't tell you yet, you get more interested. You're like, no, tell me. So that's just the human tendency. It's going back to curiosity. Offering secrets is a good way to draw attention and grab someone with your hook. Let's say another tagline. I don't know. The 9 secrets to running a successful business. Great tagline, because people are like, ooh, what are the 9 secrets? If you look at a lot of articles on Forbes, on entrepreneur.com, they tend to use taglines to get people to read their article. So it doesn't even necessarily need to be for a business to sell anything. It could be just for people to grab people's attention. Because like I said, these articles, they use these taglines because people will see it scrolling down like the website and they're like, ooh, this one looks interesting, and they'll click on it. And you'll get attention. So attention is where all the money is. Wherever the attention goes, that's where the money follows. So by offering secrets, by offering tips, tricks that people may not know, it builds intrigue, and they're curious to see. Will it make someone buy your product if it's at a low enough price point, or it looks cool enough, it's compelling enough? Maybe. But it's always a good way to grab someone's attention. So offering secrets, great way to grab people's attention. I recommend using it a lot, and it's easy. Everyone has secrets, and you just got to offer what you have to offer. And number 5, adjectives. You want to use adjectives because it spices up the copy and whatever your hook or tagline is. So good ones to use are like best, new way, the new way to do something, or the best way to do something, or the most creative way to do something. You want to throw in words that incite excitement. So like I said, best, new, creative, awesome. Whatever you guys can think of, use those adjectives. And what I'll do actually is, in the worksheets that you get with the course, I'll go ahead and throw all of the stuff in there, and I'll have all the adjectives and a list of them. So then that way, you guys can go and just plug and play all these adjectives. You'll have a template to use. It's going to make your life way, way easier. But that being said, remember all of the stuff when writing your hook or your thesis or your marketing copy, whatever it is. You want to keep it simple. You want to incite curiosity. You want to use numbers. You want to use adjectives. You want to use secrets. All of this stuff is going to help you in the long run when it comes to your marketing thesis or your hook. And it's going to draw people into your business. So a good hook is very important in any business. I would recommend it to everyone. And I will see you guys in the next lesson. Take care.